Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I love? Patreon.com/inkdependence, where patrons get access to a patron-only Discord, ad-free videos, and the joy of knowing they help support this channel. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike, and today I've got a sample for you of the ink for the St. Louis Pen Show this year in 2025. This is from KWZ, of course. They always do the ink for the St. Louis Pen Show. This one is called Meet Me in St. Louis 314 Blues. They're always called Meet Me in St. Louis, and they have a subtitle. This one is 314 Blues. That's the area code of St. Louis, and it's a nice bright blue. Let's look at it on a bunch of papers, look at it next to a bunch of other blues, because this is the kind of blue that I enjoy, and it should be pretty cool. So let's take a look. All right, so I've put it on this little Kokyo soft ring pad because I'm just doing a little mini review here to show y'all what's going on with this ink. It is a really nice bright blue. I mean, look how bright that is. It behaves really well on all the papers I've put it on. We'll look at it on some copy paper and that sort of thing here soon. But yeah, it looks really nice. It's a bright blue. You get a little bit of shading, but no sheen or anything like that. We'll do the water test here soon. But this is limited to 200 bottles. They are 60 mils each, 20 bucks each, and you can buy 2 of them if you go to the St. Louis Pen Show this year in 2025. They will be online afterwards if there's any left, but I think these do tend to sell out. So if you want one of these, talk to somebody who's going to the St. Louis Pen Show, or go to the St. Louis Pen Show yourself. Tell them I said hi. It's always good to support your local pen shows and see what it's like out there in the community. All right, so here is the chromatography, and I'm going to put some water on this right quick just to see how it goes for a water test. I don't really anticipate this having any particular water resistance, but you never know. You never know. The colors that compose this ink are, surprise, surprise, they are blue. That's what you got in here, is blue. All right. Let's go ahead and mop this up. Hey, you know what? It did actually okay. We got a bunch of it come off on the little paper towel here, but it did leave a lot of blue behind. That's actually pretty impressive. You don't get a whole lot of water resistance in blues most of the time. It did force some of it through the back of the page. This paper is pretty good against ink and water and stuff, and it pushed a little bit through the page, but no big deal. That's pretty good. All right, nice. I'm surprised. Neat. All right, so here is that 314 Blues on my Staples 20-pound, 30% recycled copy paper, which I messed up once, and it just messed me up for the next 2 things I wrote. But I think it's actually, I think it's done pretty well on here. You can see maybe a few feathers here and there, but this is that 30% recycled copy paper that you find in your office copier because it's the cheapest thing around. It's not really meant for liquid ink, but you can see everything kind of shows through or bleeds through one extent or another. This one did pretty well. There are a few spots, but not that big a deal. And as it says here, I was using my Levenger True Writer Select. I got this pen a long time ago, and it's always been great. It has this very nice medium nib, writes super well. I'm not sure if Levenger still makes the True Writer Select, but if they do, I mean, check it out. This is a really nice pen and a good upgrade over the regular old True Writer, but really has been a great pen for, I mean, over a decade at least. So next up, I have it here on some Marmon Nemosini paper. I like this paper a whole lot for fountain pen inks and writing on. It gives you a good access to their shading and sheening properties if they have them. This one has definitely, as you can see here, some shading. I think it's a very pleasant color. It's bright. It's easy to read. And as you saw earlier, it had some water resistance, which is kind of cool. This is my 152nd writing sample. Crazy, right? Go ahead and take your screenshot if you are putting together your own book of the 99% Invisible City by Roman Mars and Kurt Kohlstedt. Right there, it's all about the Postal Service. Learning some interesting things about the Postal Service as I transcribe this. And lastly, for our papers, we have it here, of course, on old school Tomoe River. This is a Galen Leather everyday book. And there is your 314 Blues ink down there at the bottom. It looks a little bit brighter on this paper than it does on some of the others, but behaves perfectly well. This is old Tomoe River, and that is good stuff. Of course, nothing is coming through the back on Tomoe River. That would be wild. And lastly, we have a whole bunch of ink comparisons. This is a blue color that I really enjoy, and so I pulled a whole bunch of blues here. But this is great. I really enjoy this blue color. It's real nice. There are a lot of blues coming out from pen shows right now, and so I don't get them all, but I'm glad they sent me out this little sample. Here are a pair of very commonly loved Iroshizuku inks. We have here Amairo and Konpeki. I would say that this ink is kind of in the middle between these two. It's a little bit lighter perhaps than Konpeki, a bit darker than Amairo. It's kind of right there in that zone. Of course, you also don't get the sheen like you'll sometimes see on Konpeki, but if you like these two inks, you're going to like that one too. Also, these do smell a little bit like vanilla usually. Let me take a sniff of this one to make sure. Yeah, just a little bit of a vanilla smell. So if you like that smell, that's great. I actually like it quite a lot, but if that bothers you, you're not going to want to go for this one. Next up, I pulled IWI Colors of Nature Slight Heat and Andorilium's Blue Ringed Octopus. Blue Ringed Octopus is one of my very favorite blues, kind of all time. This is an extremely nice bright blue, and 314 Blues is very close. I think 314 is maybe a little bit lighter, but pretty darn good. IWI is a nice looking ink, but the ones that I've used have been kind of a little bit bleedy, unfortunately, but looks like a nice color, and if you keep it on the good paper, it's real good. Then on either side here, I've added Pinnonia's Taroko Geek, which is a really good blue as well, and Private Reserve Naples Blue, which is the newer formulation of this this ink here, and these run on the real wet side. So if you have a nib that is very dry, throw some Private Reserve in there. It might really do well for you. And then lastly, because I have an uneven number of inks here, I guess, I pulled up the Carandash Hypnotic Turquoise. This is definitely a bit more green than 314 Blues, but you don't see a whole lot of Hypnotic Turquoise out there. People aren't talking about it as much as they should be. It's a really cool ink. So there you go. That's 314 Blues. Thank you very much to the St. Louis Pen Show folks for sending me this little sample of ink here. Go check this out over at the St. Louis Pen Show. If you're going, let them know I sent you. It won't get you anything, but it's always nice for folks to hear that sort of thing. And, you know, support your local pen shows, because without the pen shows, it's really hard to get your hands on a lot of these awesome things that vendors will bring and all that sort of jazz. So, you know, go there and have a good time. Until next time, think about what you put out in the world and make it a better place. Peace out.